Good morning, San Diego. Welcome to Homefront. I am your co-host, Eve Nasby, with my other co-host. Is that right? AJ Brooks, co-host.
Eve, it's great to be here.
You're amazing.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We've got a great show.
We have fantastic guests today.
I know. Tell us about your guests.
Well, from No One Left Behind, we have Amanda Maddie and Matt Makowski. A lot of people know about Little Italy, and we know about Little Portugal. San Diego has a great history of welcoming immigrants and people that have come to this country. And El Cajon's also known as Little Baghdad. They're going to talk to us about the teammates from Iraq and Afghanistan that are resettling in the San Diego area.
That's so great. I know we've got a real estate section, so we're going to take a look at a great home again. And then I have Tom Garcia, who is a co-chair for the committee to commission the USS Raphael Peralta, who was an incredible individual and actually gave his life so his comrades could live. And so it's a great story, and I can't wait for our viewers to see that.
One of the few ships named after a Medal of Honor recipient.
And he's a local San Diegan, too.
And that's not all. We have one more. We have the Honor Foundation. We have Joe Lara, who talks to us about how special operators have a chance to transition into the business world, not just through resumes and things like that, but really finding their passion and making sure the job matches what they really want to do.
I love the Honor Foundation, so why don't we get the show started?
Let's do it here on Homefront.
Welcome back to our Homefront Heroes section with my good friend Tom Garcia. Tom is representing, he's a co-chair of the commissioning committee for the USS Raphael Peralta. Tom, welcome to the show.
It's great to be here.
I am so excited. You are doing such an incredible work here in our community for the commissioning committee. But first I want to talk about who this man was, Raphael Peralta, and the legacy that he's left behind. So we know he went to high school here in San Diego.
Went to Morris High.
Went to Morris High.
Chula Vista. Yeah.
And then, so tell us the story.
I think the story is what really grabbed me. Here's a young man. He was born in Mexico. And he really wanted to become a Marine, but he couldn't because he wasn't a citizen. Didn't have papers, so he went through the process, got his papers. And the day he got his papers legally, then he joined the Marine Corps. And I think that just showed the tenacity that he had, the determination he had. So he joined the Marine Corps, and as soon as he did, he started working on becoming a citizen. And they do have an expedited program for military to become citizens. He did that, and then he had his family naturalized too. Wow. He was really proud of that. He has a younger brother, Ricardo, who also joined the Marines later.
Wow.
But on the wall of his bedroom, he had the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and he was so proud.
Wow, that is incredible.
Yeah.
I wish all the kids across America would have the Constitution and the Bill of Rights hanging on their bedroom walls.
Well, sometimes it's people that come from different countries that understand what it is to be a good citizen.
Yeah.
You know, they do a better job sometimes than the people that have been here and just take it for granted.
Yes, agreed, agreed. So then he joins the Marines, and then he goes off to overseas.
Yeah, he was, he did a lot of stuff, but he was always a leader every place he went. He got recognized as being a leader. He was in Fallujah, the Second Battle of Fallujah, and him and his squad were clearing houses. He had volunteered, actually. He's always volunteering to help and to do a little bit more. He always did that with the other Marines too, the new Marines. So they were clearing houses.
And he volunteered because they were short-staffed, and he'd already been doing this, and so he's tired, but he's still willing to help his comrades.
There. Right. It was, you know, duty was what he was about, you know, and he always wanted to be part of that team that they had there with his brothers. And so he had volunteered, went in there, and as they were clearing houses, they took enemy fire, and he was mortally wounded. And but there were still some Marines in there, and one of the insurgents threw a grenade, and he threw himself on the grenade and protected his fellow Marines, and was killed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And so now he has Purple Heart, obviously, and getting lots of awards, but we're commissioning the ship in his honor because of his bravery.
He actually got the Navy Cross, which is the award just below the Medal of Honor.
Wow.
And we're hoping that he was recently resubmitted for the Medal of Honor, and we're hoping that he will get it. We don't know, but I think the important thing is that they've recognized who he was, what he did, and so his legacy is going to carry on in this ship. There's a, you know, God, I can't remember how the term, it's a Latin term, but it means courageous forever. And so that's what's emblazoned on the ship, and that's what everybody thinks about. So this ship carries it means a lot to the Marines and the Navy that sail it.
Yes.
And so I think it's going to mean a lot to be home ported here in San Diego and have a special meeting to everybody.
And his family's still right here in San Diego and Chula Vista.
Yeah.
Obviously, we'll be at the commissioning. So tell us about how we as a community can come together and support the commissioning of the USS Raphael Peralta.
Yeah, his family, they do live in Chula Vista. There's mother Rosa and 2 daughters, and his other brother, Ricardo, is in Arizona. So the commissioning, like anything else, takes a lot of money to support the commissioning, and it's really to do all the events that lead up to the commissioning itself. There's some breakfasts, there's some recognition dinners, things like that, and the general public is welcome to attend this, but we need your contact information so we can send you an invite. They can also support this commissioning, which supports the crew.
Yeah.
This is the very first crew on any ship. It's only one time that it happens, and all the original owners or sailors become plank owners of that ship. So there's a special one-type thing that happens. So they get this special plank, and they're the one-time owners of that plank, and it's a very significant thing.
Yeah.
So go on the website, peraltacommissioning.org. All the information about the commissioning, about Sergeant Raphael Peralta, the events that happened, and how you can donate to support the commissioning will be right there.
Wow. So we've got events coming up. They're fundraising events, obviously, so breakfasts and other things, and we can find that on the website.
Yes.
When we get to the commissioning event itself, what can we look forward to, and can we bring our families, our kids?
Absolutely. It's really I'm Army, so I don't know that much about here's an Army guy doing a Navy ship honoring a Marine, but that's how our community is.
That's right.
That's what San Diego's about. The commissioning is what really happens that day is that's the first time that this ship really comes to life. The ship will be ported there, and and everybody's welcome to come, but like I say, they need to let us know so we can send them an invite, bring your kids, whatever. The ship will be there'll be nobody on the ship. It'll be kind of dead to the water. And then Mrs. Peralta, Rosa, will say, bring the ship to life.
Wow.
And then all the crew will run up the gangplank, man the ship, turn on everything on the ship and bring it to life, and that'll be the first time that it's really a Navy ship.
That is so exciting. Well, I cannot wait to attend that event. I know that we've got the website we can go to get more information. Tom Garcia, thank you so much for being a part of our show.
Thank you for letting me be here and let the community know what this is about.
It's our pleasure.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with more of Homefront. Don't go away.
Welcome back to Homefront Finance. In this segment, we have Joe Lara of the Honor Foundation. Joe, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So, Joe, you were a fellow with the Honor Foundation, and we've had a partnership in the past with the Honor Foundation. We featured some of your ads and supported what you do. But what you do is you support special operators. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, the special operations community is a community like no other. And so what we do is we provide a transition institute for special operators such as the Navy SEALs, the Marine Raiders, and as well as the other enabling forces that support special operations. And it's a 15-week program. It's conducted at UCSD Rady School of Management, and we provide incredible executive education, one-on-one coaching, and then out of that, we discover their purpose and the next chapter in their life.
So it's hosted at a business school, a great business school, and it's very interesting to think, how does being an operator translate to the business world? And that's sort of what the Honor Foundation is trying to figure out, or help their operators figure out.
Absolutely. And one of the best things that we've discovered is in this community, it's very entrepreneurial, and that resonates with the guys. So perfect example. you're talking about a group of individuals that are highly skilled. They're sometimes working in an environment where there's limited resources. There's a few of them, and failure is no option. And when you start describing what an entrepreneurial job looks like, or a business startup looks like, it just makes so much sense.
Yeah, you start ticking those off a checklist.
And so we've discovered that out of the folks that come through our program, there's about 18% that are looking at starting a business, going to get further education, specifically an MBA, to understand the mechanics and the details of business startups, so they're not just running amok. They actually have a plan and they're focused.
Now, you're not just sort of helping the operators understand how to sell themselves or to translate the skills they already have. You're also helping the business community understand what operators bring to the table.
Absolutely. The education is two ways. And so the analogy we use, if you go to our website at honor.org, it's a bridge. And so we have the operators coming in from one side. Everything that you described. We provide the education and how to present yourself and that piece. But then we also have the other side, where we have these business executives, we have academia, we have all the other folks that as well need to be vetted because we don't want people just following them or being attracted to them for the wrong reasons, which does happen, unfortunately. So we are very careful with that side. And
there's sort of a celebrity status that comes with being a special operator.
Unfortunately, there is.
And but there's also sometimes like a cartoonish perspective.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just the special operations community, but anyone who's ever served in the military knows that there's this sort of Beetle Bailey perception that you're given simple tasks and you just execute them. And it's quite the opposite. What you said is you're given end states, and sometimes there isn't even the tools or the methods to get there, and you have to become resourceful.
Absolutely.
You have to adapt and overcome at all levels.
Absolutely, yeah. And some of the environments are just incredible. And you being with a military background, you know some of the austere places that we've been to. And the pressure is a little bit higher than what many people would expect.
You know, it's funny to me. I've had friends that have worked for Fortune 100 and Fortune 500 companies, you know, Johnson & Johnson, Citibank, and it seems to me that their culture is actually more rigid than ours. The perception a lot of times is that if you're in the military, you're very precise and you follow a very set of rules. But that's actually, to me, more corporate culture. You know, what I've seen inside the military is there are absolute go and no-go lines. But outside of that, there's a lot of free play to get to the end state, to win.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that's you hit on a point that a lot of the guys don't know what's on the outside as well. There's this misconception that every job is a cubicle job.
Right.
That there's every boss has a monotone voice.
Right.
Very much like the movies that we've seen and make fun of. And so that's something that's fearful that guys do, and I don't know. It's one of those things that we try to break that paradigm and show them. And so at the end of the experience, we'll actually go on a trek. And one of the treks that's coming up here soon is we're going to San Francisco. And so after the fellows have been through their 15-week program, they're ready, locked and loaded, and we'll land in San Francisco. We'll visit places like Google, Facebook, Airbnb. Actually walk inside the environment and show them, look. Where are the cubicles at? Right. Look at the people, shake their hand, and it's incredible. It just breaks all kinds of barriers, and it's a wonderful thing to actually witness.
Now, you've had some success stories. Can you talk to us about some of the places you've placed some of the fellows from the Honor Foundation?
Oh, absolutely. In my class, when I went through in class 4, we had a gentleman who was working at MARSOC in the senior leadership position, and going through the Honor Foundation, you're asked some deep questions, and sometimes it's really hard to answer those questions because they're personal. And I think that's what also sets us a little bit different from many other military transition institutes, because they all work on resumes and those kinds of things, which are needed. But we try to get to the root of the person and who they are. And what came out of that was the best line I ever heard is, "Man, I love fast cars." And I'm like, okay. And then
so you're talking to someone from Marine Special Operations Command, and it wasn't about service or brotherhood or pushing yourself to the limit. He just said, what do I really love? What defines me? Dude, I just really love fast cars.
Exactly. And so that got all the faculty and their wheels spinning. So,
literally and figuratively, yes.
Yes. And today, he's the chief staff officer for IndyCar. IndyCar.
What a perfect place to land.
What a perfect place to land. I mean, he would have never went there. He would have never looked for that. His language and tone in the classroom, just kind of just digging into who he is as a human being and what he's made of, and then all of a sudden seeing that moment of clarity, that's the winning moment. That's what pays the bills for us, is that moment of clarity when a guy recognizes, I know what I need to do, and I'm going to crush it.
You know, I recently read The Alchemist, and it's 25 years old now, but that's that mission that you have deep down. You know, a lot of organizations do a great job of helping you find a job. Their job is to find a job, and I think your job is to help someone find the job.
Yes.
Figure out what your mission is and what really drives you.
Yeah.
Joe, it was fantastic to have you here in the studio. The Honor Foundation is doing great work. I know you partner with all kinds of other organizations to mentor and grow, but what you're doing is really helping people find their purpose, and that's wonderful. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah. That was Joe from the Honor Foundation here on Homefront Finance.
Hey, I'm Nasby here with Homefront, and I just wanted to share with you my passion for the veteran community. I love San Diego, I love our military community, and I'm very passionate about supporting it. Our company is actually owned by a Purple Heart veteran, twice awarded the Purple Heart in Vietnam. And our focus at Amerit Consulting is to help you veterans transition successfully into the civilian workforce, and also to help companies find you and hire you. We love what we do at Amerit Consulting, and if you're looking for a job, check us out online at ameritconsulting.com. And if you're a company looking to hire a great veteran, again, our website is ameritconsulting.com.
Welcome back to the Homefront Family section. Here in the studio, we have Matt Makowski and Amanda Maddie from No One Left Behind. Guys, welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
So, No One Left Behind invokes this sense of we don't leave people behind on the battlefield. And, you know, Matt, you came to this organization not with a veteran background, but because you had a passion for this project. Can you talk about it?
Correct, yeah. Yeah, so, you know, I really kind of got into it having seen what some of these guys go through in the media, and I used to live in Baltimore, so, you know, being around DC, you see a lot of the plight that these guys face.
Now, when you say these guys, you were an electrical engineer that worked on systems that were used by the military, three-letter agencies in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Correct, yeah. So, you know, I kind of, from that side of things, knew kind of a little bit what they were facing over there, but, you know, when our guys came home, these guys really didn't have a chance to, and their families, and they were really under a lot of pressure back in their homes from insurgents, the Taliban, Al-Qaeda, when they found out that these guys were working with U.S. forces. Obviously, that puts them in a pretty tough place.
So this is the Homefront Family section, and I think anyone who's served, whether in garrison or combat, on a ship, or at a base somewhere in the middle of America, understands that you get really close and you become family. And there isn't a your guys and my guys when you're fighting the fights that we've fought. Now, right next to you, we have Amanda Maddie. Amanda, you're a veteran of Iraq. You're a Navy veteran, you're in the intelligence community, and your story's a little more personal. You went as a foreign affairs liaison officer, and you ended up getting more than ribbons from your deployment. Is that right? You also got a spouse.
I did. I came home with an Iraqi from Iraq. Yes, and so I know firsthand the sacrifices, you know, from being in country and seeing there, you know, personally, I know firsthand the sacrifices that these translators have made. They've bled on the battlefields with our soldiers and our Marines, and they're being systematically targeted, hunted, and killed by insurgent groups because of their service to us.
And that's still going on now in 2017.
Yes, still in 2017.
The invasion was in 2003. You deployed and served in 2005, and that was during a period of time where anyone who was serving as an interpreter or translator was being targeted and killed, and their bodies were being left in the street, as if to say, do not help the Americans, help our country.
Yes, they were, like I said, systematically targeted, and they were considered traitors. The number one, they were considered turncoats, so the insurgents were after them personally to teach everybody a lesson. Do not work for the Americans. We will find you. We will not only kill you, we will go after your family.
And when you talk about family, you and your husband now have 2 beautiful daughters, and you've made a life here in the United States. When you talk about this precedent of not leaving anyone behind, this is not just the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. This organization has a history and sort of a lineage that goes back to Vietnam. And I think as a country, this is not just an American story. This is a story that's as old as warfare itself. You know, brides and partnerships and romance and friendship and connection go all the way back to the history of warfare. So in Vietnam, most recently, we had Montagnards and Vietnamese that helped us, and we left them behind, and they were targeted. And there was a program through the 70s, 80s, 90s, even through today, to try and bring them over and give them refuge. That's part of what you do still, isn't it?
Correct. I mean, there truly is a lineage between what happened then and a lot of the veterans that served in that war and then came back and saw those folks left behind. And you know, Matt Zeller, our founder, really, you know, he was over there serving too, had his translator he wanted to get over. And really, it kind of speaks to that these guys fought together and bled on the battlefield together, and you know, it hurts them to see these folks over there in harm's way.
And we promised them. We promised them that
yeah.
we would protect them, that we would protect their families if they served us and helped us out while we were over there. So then when they said, hey, I'm being targeted, what can you do for me? There was a brick wall. There was no path for them to come to the United States. There was nothing that our military could do in country to protect these guys in their homes. So there was this huge brick wall that literally had to be torn down and gotten over.
So you guys are really in the business of getting visas and getting people an opportunity to be resettled. San Diego is America's finest city, and El Cajon has sort of become a little Baghdad in some ways. It's become a wonderful host community for people that want to build a new life. You guys help them get the visas to get here legally, but then you also help them with employment, starting jobs, starting businesses, entrepreneurship. The organization nationally has a great reputation, but locally it's just a handful of volunteers that are trying to provide services to hundreds of people.
Correct, correct. We have upwards of getting close to 30 families now in the past year that we've started serving.
You said 30 families?
30 families,
Wow.
yeah. And we've only been around really for a year about. And yeah, we, no paid staff, we're all volunteers. And so, you know, we're always looking for more folks to help and, you know, help, you know, keep our promise to these folks.
It's a labor of love.
It is a labor of love. And you have a personal connection. And I think it's really touching, you know, when you start talking about family, the way that we connect, that you see people that help Americans as part of this extended family. I know there's a lot of veterans that volunteer with your organization, but there are a lot of people like yourself, Matt, that heard about the mission, wanted to do something, and got involved.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, you know, we're all Americans. We all love this country and the freedom and the, you know, the democracy we have here. And, you know, we want to make sure that these folks coming over see that same side. You know, we give them all the promises that we made to them, but also, you know, show them what our country has to offer, and then we keep our promises.
And they want to be self-sufficient, too.
Right.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
it's not just about getting them over here and giving them handouts. They don't want to live off of handouts. They want to be self-sufficient, they want to work, they want to earn, and they want to support their families.
Well, you know, with the exception of Native Americans, everyone here really is an immigrant story. And America's not just a place, it's an idea. The idea that you can express your faith and your values in a way, and there's a place to do that. And you're giving a lot of people who have upheld those values an opportunity to do that. I know that vehicles are an issue. If anyone wants to donate or get involved, can you tell us where to do that?
Yeah, we have, if you go to www.nooneleft.org, you can donate, and some of that money gets directly to our chapter if you do it through the San Diego link. And, you know, they can contact me if anyone wants to help out, give physical donations, couches, anything like
Sure.
that. You know, we're more than happy to come on and pick them up for you.
Whether it's money or time, there's lots of ways to get involved.
Totally.
Amanda, Matt, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate your mission. I'm really happy you're here, and I think a lot of people learned something today.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
having
so
us.
much.
That's Matt Makowski and Amanda Maddie. Amanda's an author, and you can pick up her book, A Foreign Affair, on Amazon and online, here on Homefront.
Welcome back to Homefront. I'm Ignacio with Synergy One Lending, and I'll be hosting the homeownership segment today. I'm a loan officer in North County that specializes in first-time homebuyer programs for our veterans as well as their friends and family. Today, I have the pleasure of having one of the best agents I know and the most ethical agents I know up in North County, Ivan Casares with Realty One Group,
Thank you, Ignacio. Appreciate it.
and he's going to highlight a home for us. Tell me about your home.
Yes, sir. So the property that I want to talk to you about today is 480 Camino Verde in San Marcos, California. The property is 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, and is 19,900 square feet. What I really like about this property, Ignacio, is that not only is it move-in ready, it's a 2-story home in a gated community in the beautiful community of Belleza community, but what I really like about it, it's got one of the bigger lots in this community. And so not only is it move-in ready, but it's also the location, as you know, real estate.
Right. It's all about that.
It is in the best location possible because you are minutes away from the freeway. You are right next to Cal State San Marcos, close to shopping, close to the best schools in San Marcos. All of them are rated 9+. And so personally, I think this is one of the best areas to be in.
You're absolutely right. I mean, our office is right on the other side of the freeway from there. And also, I mean, all the restaurants. There's Restaurant Row around there. That house is beautiful, man. I love how clean it is. The floors, it looks absolutely amazing inside. What's the price point for this home?
Great question. The price on this home is $620,000.
Wow, that's good, man.
Yeah.
That's right in there. But, you know, something I want to kind of share with you, you know, one of the biggest things that some of our veterans have sometimes an issue with is finding an agent they can trust. And you might not know this, but I saw your About Me video, and I love that you come across that you're a family man, that you're a believer, and you're one of the most ethical agents that I know, man. So I know that in real estate, your reputation is everything, and I appreciate you for coming out here, being upfront with who you are, and you're someone that we can definitely trust. So Ivan, tell me about how do people get a hold of you, maybe some more information on this home or about yourself. How do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, great question. I'm glad you asked. So you can find this property online. The address is 480 Camino Verde. You can look on our website. It is ivansellsrealestate.com. Also, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I mean, you can find me everywhere online.
You are, man.
You can shoot me a text, 760-877-6709. That's usually the best way to get a hold of me, my direct cell phone number. And otherwise, just let me know when you want to come see this property.
Absolutely, man. And I just want to let you guys know that if you guys have any questions about, listing your home, about maybe purchasing a home, Ivan and his team are amazing. Like I said, they're very ethical. They'll take care of you. They're somebody that if I needed some services, I would definitely call Ivan and his team. I have no problems with that. And on the other side, if you guys have any questions about what it takes to purchase a home, getting pre-approved is typically the first step. And that's when you can reach out to myself at 760-473-3903. And definitely give us a call with any of your questions. And we'll be back with more Homefront.
I came into my transition with an extremely short timeline, and I didn't have the resources or the knowledge to know what I needed to do or where I needed to be looking for my next job. THF gave me direction, helped me look inside myself, and made me ultimately successful in taking that leap from the military sector over into the civilian sector.
Welcome back to Homefront. Wow, AJ, we had a fantastic show.
It's one of my favorite ones yet.
I know, right? We've got Tom Garcia with the USS Raphael Peralta being commissioned. A great way for our community to come together once again and support what's going on with our ships. We can get involved in the events, we can go out there to the commissioning and bring our families and educate them on the sacrifices that our soldiers have
There's
made
so
for
many
our
ways to
country.
honor the fallen.
Yeah, exactly. And you had some great guests. I love Mandy.
What a fun family segment. Matt got involved with No One Left Behind because he was really driven by the mission.
Yes.
He thought it was a compelling mission.
Yes.
Mandy has a little more personal story. She was a veteran. She married a translator.
Yeah.
And it was really appropriate because they've built a beautiful family here in America's finest city.
And she's so smart, too. She's fluent in Russian. I mean, there's nothing that girl can't do.
She used to exercise racehorses in North Florida. She's got a fascinating background.
And you guys came from the same town.
Yeah,
is
same
that right?
hometown.
See, good things come out of Florida.
I think so.
And then we've got had a great real estate segment. Wow, what a beautiful home that was.
Ignacio always brings us ways to build wealth and get some sense of purchase and place here in America's finest city.
Absolutely. And Joe, Lara, who doesn't love the Honor Foundation?
They take special operators and they don't just help them find jobs, they help them find their passion. So what they're doing for the rest of their life is something that matches what they really want to do, not just have an income.
That's awesome. Well, AJ, you know what? I can't wait till next week.
Yeah, we're going to wrap it up soon.
We're going to have another great show coming at you. So have a great weekend, and we'll see you next Saturday here on Homefront.